Shalom, shalom, brothers day. First, I'm going to give all praise and glory to the Heavenly Father, which is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, who people ignorantly call him Jesus Christ, right? So today's topic is going to be about, revenge, martial law is about to kick off, everything that's happening right now. All these prophecies, is coming to pass right before your eyes. These things were spoken about 2,000 years ago. A lot of prophets, was wishing they could see these things. So it's a blessing. It's a exciting times you living in. If you're not excited, then that means you're fearful. You gotta have that faith that you're gonna get delivered in these days. If you scared and everything right now, that means you're not keeping the commandments. You gotta build up that faith, right? So it's the Most High is giving us revenge because day and night, the saints, the people who keep these commandments, we cry to the Most High, revenge us and everything like that because we hate the wicked. They oppress our people. We want to get out of here. The saints pray day and night. They cry to the Most High continuously, saying, avenge us, and that's what He's doing. So first, let's get Psalms chapter 58 and verse 10, and it reads, "The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance; he shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked." So we're going to rejoice. We're not even rejoicing yet. This is just a little jab that the Most High is doing, right? This is nothing yet. All hell didn't even break loose yet, and people already panic buying some toilet paper. That's not nothing yet, right? Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28, 28 and verse 43, and it reads. So Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43. The strangers, who's the strangers? The other nations, chiefly Esau. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. So Esau, they very high. They living good, drinking some wine mixed in with some children blood. They got over us very high. We're in captivity. We don't know who our heritage is, who's our father, and things like that, right? So they got over us very high, right? And thou shalt come down very low. But they're gonna come down very low. The higher you are, the harder the fall gonna be. And Esau, he's a prideful man. He's very high up there. So when Yahushua come back with his angels that you cannot number, man, this place gonna go down, man. He's gonna be brought down very low. A lot of people gonna be slain and killed with the sword, and other gonna be in captivity, right? I mean, the righteous gonna be delivered. If you wicked, you're gonna be part of that 2/3. Let me get that real quick. Let's get Zechariah. Because 2/3 they're gonna get destroyed because they don't care about this truth, man. They think it's a game, it's a joke. In reality, it's not a game, it's not no joke, right? So this is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 7, and it reads, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, says the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I would turn my hand upon the little ones," right? So this is the main point right here. "And it shall come to pass that in the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein." So that 2/3 talking about the nation of Israel. 2/3 of the nation of Israel will get cut off because they've been so wicked. They didn't take heed and keep the commandments. So you don't want to be part of that 2/3. They're gonna get destroyed with their enemies, right? Let me read it again. 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So 1/3 is going to get saved, right? You got the elect, which is the 144K. Then you got the 1/3 that's going to get saved, right? The elect is already predestined. You can't just become a part of the elect. It's already predestined, right? So you don't know if you're the elect or not, right? But you want to go out and do the work to make your calling sure, right? Verse 9, "And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God." Right? So when you come into this truth, you're gonna get tried as gold in the furnace, right? You're gonna get put through some trials, tribulations, things like that. But you gotta get tried because you got all these sins in you. And when you got gold, it don't come out pure gold. They got some zinc and other material in it. So you gotta put it in the furnace to get all those stuff out, to cleanse it and everything, get all the other elements out. Same with you. You got sins on you and things like that. You gotta be tried like gold. You gotta get all the sins off of you come out pure and righteous. You know. So let's get Ecclesiastes real quick. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 3:15. So all these plagues are coming right now. Hey man, it's the same plagues as ancient Egypt, right? The locusts, you got locusts tearing up Egypt again, right? These pestilence and everything. But you're gonna find out the Lord requires what happened in the past to happen again, right? The same generations back on the earth, right? Regeneration is in the Bible. I have a video on that. This Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which that is Salakia. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past. So he requires what happened in the past to happen again. It has to happen, right? Because the same spirit is back on the earth. The same wicked deeds are back on the earth, right? Whatever you're doing right now, like 2,000 years ago, you're just doing the same thing, right? There's nothing new under the sun, right? Let me see if I can get that real quick. There is nothing new under the sun. Um, Ecclesiastes chapter 1. I know it's in this one. Oh, there's the, okay. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So you're not doing. It's nothing new that you're doing this, that, and the third. You was doing that 2,000 years ago in your other generation, in your other past life, right? I'm doing the same thing that I was doing, in my other life, my past life. There's no new thing under the sun. So you smoking weed and everything, getting in a fight with your brothers all the time. You was doing that. You was doing wicked like that in your past life. You reading the Bible, being righteous. Hey, you was doing that in your past life. You was probably, being one of the disciples, being taught by Yahushua in your past life, you know. So you never know. The apostles and everything. You got Daniel. You got Paul the apostle and all of them. They back on the earth again, but you don't know who you are, right? So they all back on the earth. John, well, he already got he was Abba Bivens. They killed him. John the Baptist. They killed him. If you have ears to hear, but yeah. So it's their past life. But now let's get Ezekiel chapter 29. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 29 and verse 1. And it reads, Slocky. Ezekiel chapter 29 verse 1. And it reads, in the 10th year, in the 10th month, in the 12th day of the month, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt. So that's what the prophets are doing now. No, this is spiritually Egypt, right? Sodom and Egypt, right? So what we're doing, we gotta set our face against it. We're not supposed to say no smooth things to Egypt, saying, yeah, this place is gonna go, it's gonna be a smooth place. Nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna keep going on forever. No, we're telling it's gonna get destroyed. Y'all going into captivity. You gonna get burnt up alive. Thus saith the Lord. You're not supposed to say, oh, this kingdom was amazing. I love being in slavery. No, you better tell them, hey, you're going to slavery too. You know, you gotta tell Becky that, right? Becky's father too, right? Verse 3. Speak and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh king of Egypt, the great dragon that lieth in the midst of his rivers, which have said, My river is my own, and I have made it for myself. Right? So again, this is spiritually Egypt because the same wicked deeds are like the ancient Egypt, right? But Donald Trump is not Pharaoh or anything. Well, as we know, Donald Trump is just a puppet master for the elite. You know, the elite is a group of people, so it's like an oligarchy. People think the president is just like a autocracy or something like that. Only one person rules, but actually it's the elite, the Illuminati secretly run this place, right? People don't understand that, right? Donald Trump has no power. He has to go to somebody to get what he needs to do. He's just a puppet, right? Like, for example, um, just like how the prophets speak for the Most High, we listen to the Most High. We're not speaking for ourselves. So that's on the right hand side. The left hand side, Donald Trump, he speaks for the Illuminati, the people, for the elite, the people who owns everything, right? Like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and everything like that. So on and so on, right? So let's get Zephaniah real quick, right? So now we got that. So let's get Zephaniah. But again, you're not supposed to be preaching those soothsayings. Oh yeah, everyone's gonna get saved. You gotta, be straight up with it. If they like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. I was out teaching, some people and everything, and this Edomite came, and I asked him, "Do you believe in the Bible?" He said, "Yeah, yeah, of course." And I was like giving him his judgment, saying, "You're going to slavery. Did you know that?" He was like, "Oh, well, I'll agree with that." Like he was actually agreeing with it. He was not trying to argue with me like the rest do. He was actually agreeing with his judgment. And he said, "It's in the Bible, and it's true." I'm like, "Hey, yeah, hey, get ready." You feel me? So this is Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 11, and it reads, "The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth." Right? So all these gods, they saying they worship. You got Muslims and everything. They worship a rock, Allah and everything. Hey, where's Allah at? Right? They talking about you gotta bow down to the Mecca, the rock and everything. But now they like 20 feet out. Don't want to get near the rock. Talking about the coronavirus. If your God was actually there, you won't be fearing no coronavirus, right? The Chinese people, what's it called Buddha. Where's Buddha at, right? I'm about to get exterminated off the face of the earth. Talking about Buddha, right? The Chinese people getting plagued and everything. Where's your God at? That just goes to show you that there's no other God but the God of the children of Israel, right? Let me read that again. The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and man shall worship him, every one from his place, even all the idols of the heathen, right? So the heathen's gonna be worshiping the God of Israel too. He's gonna make sure everyone's gonna be worshiping him, right? All these other gods, sticks and stones, Caesar Borgia, aka Jesus Christ. Hey man, where's their gods at? All of them are getting played heavily, except the children of Israel, because now we're in light. We know the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Some Israelites got the disease and everything, but they're wicked. It's mainly the people who sold their souls, sold out, in the NBA and everything like that. The people who's keeping the commandments, no evil going to touch us. Let me get that real quick. Let's get Psalms chapter 91. No evil's going to touch us, man. If you keep them laws, statutes, and commandments, and if you fearing the coronavirus, you're moving in a fearful spirit. So this Psalms chapter 91 and verse. Let me see. In verse 10, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So no evils or no plagues will come near your dwelling. So you're not supposed to be fearing these plagues, man. Now let's get Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, right? You're not supposed to be fearing these things. If you're fearing these things right now, when all hell breaks loose, what you gonna do then? 58. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 11, and it reads. Yeah, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul. So speedily you're gonna be taken away, right? Salakia. So speedily you're gonna be taken away. Let me read that one more time. Wisdom of Solomon. Let me start at 10. He pleased the Most High and was beloved of him, so that the living among sinners he was translated. Yet speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. So when you keep the law, statutes, commandments, and all hell breaking loose, you're gonna be speedily delivered in the chariots, man, with all hell breaking loose and everything. Because all that evil, if you was on the earth for one more second, you would have fallen to sin, fallen to evil and everything. So speedily you're gonna be taken away into the chariot of salvation. Because one more second, you would have been, killing somebody, or your understanding would have been messed up. you know? So he comes at the perfect timing. That's what you call perfect timing, right? Now let's get Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. And it reads, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. What's that cloud? That's that chariot, right? That chariot looks like a cloud. It can what's it called? Shapeshift or something like that. It can turn into other different things. It blends in with the clouds. Type in chariots of the Most High, and you will see what I'm talking about. These chariots don't move like no jets or anything like that. It moves differently. No object or anything man-made object can move like these clouds, man. The chariots, the so-called UFOs, they can turn invisible. You know, they can have other chariots come from that one chariot and just multiply, man. It's heavenly made. You cannot be like that. It's nothing's man made like that, right? But the Lord gonna come into Egypt, which is Babylon, on that big old fathership, so-called mothership, that big old chariot, man, so-called UFO, and every eye gonna see him, man. He's gonna have laser beams zapping everybody. He might even come down and get up close and personal with these Edomites, man, with the sword. He might get beamed down and start slicing people, right? Let me read that again. So this is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. So hey, JB saying, hey, nothing's gonna move me and stuff like that. Look, LeBron James, that's your idol, he gonna be moved, man, at his presence, man. They're gonna be scared, not knowing what to do. They're gonna be pooping their pants. Talking about nothing's gonna move me. Look, when he comes in that big old chariot, some people gonna have understanding. The people that has understanding are the righteous people, and they're gonna get beamed up in the chariots, man. But the wicked people, they're gonna be scared, right? Hey, some people might faint and have a heart attack, right? And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So the elite and everything, well, they're gonna be in the bunkers, but like the average people, like all the other people that's seeing these things, their heart gonna melt because they know their time has come has is at the end, right? They know they about to get zapped. They know their judgment. So that's why it's important to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So let's go back to the Apocrypha now. Let's get Baruch, all right? Baruch. I'm telling you, man, when y'all see that big old chariot, just know all hell about to break loose. It's about to go down. With 1,000 times 10,000, you can't even number the chariots, the angels that's going to come with the most Yahusha. So all hell about to break loose when the chariots come back, right? And it's for revenge. It's for vengeance for the children of Israel for all the atrocities they did to the children of Israel, the Israelites, the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, so this is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 30, and it reads, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Right? So he's going to comfort us through the scriptures and everything and through vengeance. 31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. So who rejoiced at our fall? All the other nations, man. When they started knowing that we don't know our nationality and everything, hey, they was sipping children blood and having a sip of wine, having a feast. They even have a holiday probably, right? They was happy at our downfall, right? Miserable are the verse 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons, right? So, like, hey, they're gonna be miserable in these days, man, because all the other nations did this to us. All right, verse 33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. So, hey, they was glad at our downfall. Hey, we're gonna be glad at their own downfall. They're gonna be upset, right? Because hey, you reap what you sow, right? So now let's get Revelations real quick. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. When they had us captivity, man, they was happy, man. They was happy. Because they know that we're a mighty people. So for them to get in our brains and everything, calling us niggers, calling us black. I'm not black. and things like that. And we started catching on to it and started following their ways and everything. And they got happy. Well, now I've got them, in sin all the time. Now they always killing each other. Let's have a holiday and let's sip some wine. Let's kill some kids now. So this Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Right? So he has a short time. He knows he has a short time. But the devil is working overtime right now. Right? He's clocked in. He's going at it, man. It's sifting season. A lot of people in this truth, they fell out this truth. A lot of people, there's more killings and everything, and even more killings going to come in time being, right? Because the devil, which is the devil's the manifest station. The so-called white man is the manifestation of the devil, right? In the flesh, right? So they know they have a short time. That's why they're doing all these killings, martial law, coronavirus, all these tactics to put everybody in quarantine and martial law, just to come round up the children of Israel to kill us and everything. But we're not done with their devices. We know what they're doing. You know. Because their time is at. Let me get that real quick. They know their time is about to come to an end. Let's get Job chapter 14 and verse 5 by the Spirit. So this Job chapter 14 and verse 5, and it reads, "Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass." Right. So he know when his time is. They have that doomsday clock. He know when his time going to be to get destroyed and everything. The Most High has everything set up, for one kingdom ruling to when it get destroyed. He has his time set up, and you can't, he can't pass that, right? Um, Even when Alexander the Great was taking over, I forgot what thing it was. He was taking over this kingdom. The chariots were there to knock down a wall to help Alexander the Great help overtake that kingdom, right? So the Most High, he got everything timed, down to the millisecond, a perfect timing, right? So now let's get what's it called? Salakia. Sirach chapter 25 and verse 7. All right. So this Ecclesiasticus, which is Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 7. And it reads, "There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. And a man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy." So hey, that's 2 things the man love. The joy of his children and to see his enemy downfall. Right? So if you a saint and everything, you're gonna love to see the enemy fall, man, which is so-called white man in the other nations. You're gonna love to see them fall. Right? So now let's get Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 8. Right. So this Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 8. And it reads, "I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." So every night, every day, you got the saints, praying for the downfall of the enemies, man. Because we're always being oppressed. We don't want to go to our plantation and work for them. You know what I'm saying? We hate seeing the wicked succeed, right? In verse 9, "And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them." What's that innocent blood? That innocent blood is Thanksgiving, or as y'all call it, Thanksgiving. You know, Christopher Columbus came over here and killed millions, thousands of Native Americans and everything, man, for this land. That's that innocent blood. People come over here saying, "Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, Florida and everything is so beautiful." But under that pavement, innocent blood. It's blood spilled all over this place, man. They built their cities and everything over innocent blood. They forcefully take things away from people while they still in Afghanistan. You wanna know why? Because they trying to rule the whole world. Just think about it. The so-called white man is always in somebody else's place of country and everything. They're always in somebody else's country because they trying to rule the whole world, right? That's what they're trying to do. But hey, they can't. They some bullies, man. I'm telling you, they some bullies. That's why they gotta get destroyed. Bullies are prideful man. They're too proud. That's why bullies, you at the end of the movie or something like that, they always get brought down and be humble again. And that's what's going to happen when Yahushua returns and bring them down to a lower state. They're going to be in slavery. They're going to get destroyed. Their heads chopped off. Let me get that real quick in Nahum chapter 3, verse 10 by the Spirit. That gets me excited now. Their kids going to get smashed into, dashed into pieces, man. And it's going to be a righteous thing. People are going to say, well, that's not fair. It is fair. It's righteous, man. Right? So I'll bear with me if I can find it. Nahum chapter 3 and verse 10. Because they did it to our people. And, hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. When Yahweh shall return, we're gonna round them up. The elect's gonna round them up. We're gonna dash some of them to pieces, kill them with a sword. But it's gonna be righteously. They did it wickedly, right? But we're gonna do it righteously because Yahweh shall gonna give us that decree to go round them up in the bunkers that they hide in, right? Bear with me if I can find it. I'm trying to do this with one hand. If I can't find it, it's okay. We should go back to it later. Okay, Nahum chapter 3 and verse 10, and it reads, Yet was she carried away. Who's she? Esau, right? Yet was she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all thy streets, and they cast lots for her honorable man, and all her great men were bound in chains. Right? So her children was dashed in pieces, man. And the same way they cast lots for us, I want him. I want him. They're gonna put money on it. The same we're gonna be bidding on which one we want. Now I want Trump. Now I want the Rothschild. Okay, people gonna be outbidding each other. There's gonna be a righteous, bidding right there, right? So what's about to say? Now let's get Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 12, and it reads, Salakia. Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 12, and it reads, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it, which is happening right now, but at a small rate. Right, verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fall through the blasting and hell, and with fearful constellation. Right, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So woe to the people that love this world, love the things that's carnal. That's not spiritually, grounded in this truth. So woe unto you. Woe means destruction. Right. So destruction is coming nigh unto you. All right. So now let's get the book of Psalms, chapter 78. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 78, and verse 49. And it reads, He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble, by sending evil angels among them. So evil angels gonna come and destroy this place, man. Them evil angels have that decree by the Most High to come and send plagues, pestilence, famine on the earth. That's what they do. That's what they're made for. Not all angels are the same. And angels are not the Gerber babies, man. The Gerber babies, white babies and everything, feminine babies that you see on Google. The angels are, fierce angels that when you see them, you about to damn near faint, right? You get scared. If a Gerber baby appear in front of you, are you gonna faint? Hey, man, you're gonna think that you're better than that angel, right? But the angels, they fierce, man. They austere. They are so-called black men too, right? They look like they ready for war. You know, they not nice like that, man. They're a fierce. So when you see these angels, man, hey, you're not gonna be trying to dap him up and everything. You're gonna be on your knees, asking for forgiveness or something like that, man. But at the same time, there's different type of angels. You got your guardian angel, the angel that records everything you do. Angels that's created for evil, things like that, right? Like in the military, you got different things you do. You got the people who the front line, the military people the medics and everything like that. You got different things you do. Same with the Most High. He's a man of war. right? He does the same thing. What's done in heaven is also what's done on earth is done as in heaven. All right, let me get that real quick. So this is Exodus chapter 15 and verse 3, and it reads, "The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name." So hey, he's a man of war, right? So now let's get Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 1, right? Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 1, and it reads, "He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, Cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand." Right? And behold, six men came from the way of the higher gate. Six mean destruction, sin. Six is just a number to represent something, right? Because seven means perfection. So six is that it didn't make it. I don't know, imperfection. Seven means perfection. Six means imperfection. The Lord would deal with numbers. Like 10,000 means a great multitude. 12 means complete. Seven means complete. Six means incomplete, right? Or destruction and things of that nature, right? So the Most High deals with numbers, right? Okay, let me read that again. Verse two, Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 2. "And behold, six men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand." So these angels had a slaughter weapon, an axe, a two-edged sword, and things in that nature, right? "And one man among them was clothed with linen, with the writer's ink, horn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar," right? "And the glory of the Most High of Israel was going up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's link horn by his side." And in verse 4, now here's the point. "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of them that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of them thereof." Right? So people who be sighing and everything, that don't want to be here, that don't want to be part of this world, the angels gonna come and mark you spiritually. That's marking you and everything for that's because you're not going to get destroyed. If you have that mark, you won't get destroyed, right? But if you don't have that mark, you're going to get destroyed. Verse 5, "And to the others he said, In my hearing, go ye after him throughout the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity." Right? So, hey, the Most High giving a decree. Go slay these wicked people, man. If they don't have that mark, if they don't have the understanding, if they're not keeping the law, statutes, commandments, smite them, right? This don't sound like that so-called white Jesus, man. Let me give another one. Verse 6. "Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary." Who's the sanctuary? The Israelites, right? That's his people. Then they begin at the ancient men which were before the house, right? So hey man, he's giving a decree to slay old man and young man. That don't sound like the so-called white man, Jesus, man. Caesar Borgia. He won't. Hey, Caesar Borgia looks like he's gonna come back and play hopscotch, patty cake, things of that nature. Go get ice cream. And this is the author of man again. Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. "The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name." Right. So again, like Christianity is for weak people. This truth is for man only, because only man will get this. All right. So let's get Daniel chapter 12. Right. Book of Daniel. So this is the book of Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And it reads, "And at that time shall Michael stand up." Who's Michael? He's an archangel. He's like the general of all the angels, right? "And at the time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people." Right? So he's that great prince for the children of Israel. "And there shall be a time of trouble, like Jacob's trouble, such as never was seen there." What? Salakia. Let me read that again. So this is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was seen there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So that book of life, if you're not reading the book of life, you don't get destroyed. If you're not keeping the laws, statutes, commandments, and everything, you're gonna get destroyed, right? And Jacob's trouble's about to happen, man. They already got martial law. Martial law is to keep you in the house and everything, so they can get ready. Get all the saints, address and everything to go round them up. All right, and that's what's gonna happen. Um, let's get two more. Right, actually in verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So hey, it's basically you either gonna get saved or you're gonna get destroyed. It's either you was keeping the commandments and everything, or you just being, slothful, wicked as hell, and things of that nature. Right? Let's get two more. Let's get Second Ezra chapter 17 and verse 74. And it reads, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your God, right? And the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, says the Lord God. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves, right? So don't let your iniquities, when somebody sin, if you're really sincere in everything, when you sin, you start shaking your head, man, because it's not your spirit to sin. But again, you gotta get back up and start keeping these commandments. But you sin and you start laughing about it, oh, he'll forgive me. You won't get destroyed first of all. But you gotta keep the commandments because hey, if you keep the commandments, no doubt should be running in your mind. Oh, he's not gonna deliver me. Look at the days of old. Elijah was fed by ravens, birds fed by birds. A cake that lasted him 42 days or 40 or 42 days. Right? So you gotta have faith in these last days. All right, so let's get one more. So let's get the book of Psalms, chapter 37. So this Psalm, chapter 37. So this Psalm, chapter 37, verse 1. At this also my heart trembleth and is moved out of his place. Hear, hear attentive, Salakia. Hear the noise of his voice and the sound that goeth out of his mouth. He directeth it under the whole heaven, and his lightning unto the ends of the earth. Right. So, hey, He's going to direct you in these last days. So you gotta have faith. So, Lord willing, it was edifying, Brother Zay. I want to give a shalom to everybody that's in this truth or that's watching this. Shalom.